So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans. Well, it's going out. And don't you know we're gonna
Hello, and welcome to the club. I'm your host, Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club Roundtable Podcast, where five friends discuss the Columbus Crew. On this episode, we're going to do a quick review of Tigres, past and future. We're going to talk about the DC game from this past weekend. We're going to read the internet. We're going to get a Crew 2 update from Bird. And then we're going to do our predict pick review, both of last week's results. I think we had a winner. And lay it out for just our upcoming game. Who are we playing this weekend? It escapes me.
RSL.
That's right. RSL. We are not going to do predictions for Tigres, but we will have them on the Twitter, so you can still win some swag with me in the club.
Tip of the hat, Mars!
Mort. I'll just let you guys all do your own intros on this one.
You guys didn't know what's coming.
Tip of the hat.
Train Haas.
I don't.
All
I
right.
can't,
Hey, say hey, guys.
I can't get that energy.
Say Tiger.
How's it going?
Yeah,
I'm deaf.
say Tiger. So, so we did want to spend a little time talking Tigres. I think that's kind of how we'll start. We decided that we were going to limit our discussion on this just because
Time.
time. We have a lot to cover. We will spend a little time talking about what we expect in the game. Is it Tuesday?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, it's no time before Tuesday, and everybody's going to go out and watch that eclipse and forget about other things. So it's going to be Tuesday before you know it.
Yeah, we'll see.
The wormhole's going to come out and suck us right to Tuesday.
And we'll see if
I don't
that will
like the way I
affect
said that.
our ability to play an entire game with 11 men.
Overrated.
Okay, so I think our prompt for the Tigres was that for the game last Tuesday that resulted 1-1 was you could have only one sentence or a haiku to summarize your thoughts on the Tigres game. So we'll just go around real quick and get that. Let's start with you, Ben.
So I don't know what a haiku is, so here we go. Crew wear yellow, Tigres wear blue. CONCACAF, Resca, and CONCACAF. Whoop-de-doo.
Okay, yeah, that was not a haiku. That was like
Good rhyming.
okay.
Good rhyming.
like a child's storybook kind of
It's my reading level.
pentameter. Mort?
I feel like the weatherman and anchorman, like just yelling like loud noises, it's so many emotions and so many feelings right now. And it's
Too many.
Can't really guide it down to specific words. I mean, that's hard enough for me already. So,
And you had just watched that clip of the from
The actual
Anchorman
Anchorman thing.
Yeah, from
yeah.
the
Whoever
C3
did that
thing.
that's hilarious. It was
Check the
wonderful.
Twitter if you didn't see that because that was great.
It's really good.
What about you, Trey?
Si ustedes tigres somos la crew.
Let me look that up real fast.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need.
I
And I'm
censored
gonna have
it.
to beep
I
it.
censored.
Yeah.
No, I censored it for you.
Oh, you did censor it?
I did censor
okay.
it.
I'll
Good.
still beep it.
All right, Haas.
Stop complaining to the referee. Please.
Yeah, but the ref was so bad.
in
Like,
general, they are.
Just stop.
Unbelievably
Getting
bad.
yellows from it. It's bad. Just
You
stop.
know, that's the one chant I like to start. Has to do with the ref.
Yeah, and that has
It's the
been a
ref.
recurring theme here, where although the C3 refs have not been in question due to their
CONCACAF refs are always in question. They're
well,
so
yeah, was
bad.
this the one where
Best
was this the
friends
game where
with
they were
Tigres.
like, they were like
Yeah.
rubbing shoulders and
Yeah,
As
you know-
Trey would say, they were amigos.
swapping shirts with the ref at halftime. kind
Yeah,
of
they
thing.
switched shirts at halftime. They're like, good game. It's like, it's only half. They switched shorts
yeah,
and socks.
yeah.
It got weird.
Well, I was thinking about those two yellow cards to Morris, and my haiku is Let's see if I can do this without screwing it up. Morris got fast cards. Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs don't hold a candle. All right.
Ooh,
So deep.
unbreak my heart.
I don't. That's no. That's.
me again.
Now I can't think of it. Who is it? Who is that?
Toni
Braxton.
Braxton.
Toni Braxton. Yeah.
Famous female singer of Tony. Just kidding.
It's our anniversary. Okay. Hawes, do you have lineup for that? We'll just talk through it real quick, and then we'll talk about the next one.
Our top three were Jason Russell Rowe, Rossi, and Hinestroza. Yeboah, Morris, Nagby, and Farsi across the middle. Chaberko, Morera, Amundsen in the back with Schulte in goal. Had a 90-minute weather delay,
I completely forgot about that.
which caused me to not even go to the game. Just wasted my tickets away.
You were scared of tornadoes.
I just didn't want to deal with on a Tuesday night being at the stadium till midnight. So
Yeah.
Well, some of us do.
Yeah.
You were there, Mort.
Far weather fan.
Yeah, I was at a point at night where I was
Emphasis on weather.
I was at a point where either I will put on some PJs and go to bed, or take my clothes off and go to bed, or I'll put on some crew stuff and go to the game. So I
Or
called
take
up
off my
buddy
clothes and
Jesse,
go to the game.
I said I'm going, and he said, "Yeah, let's do this." And we went, and I don't regret it. It was actually a perfect night to be out there at the stadium, and the crowd was pretty good.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy how the weather, because I just thought, I was like with Haas, I was like, they're going to delay it or cancel it or something. Because they canceled Clippers, right? And they canceled
Yeah,
Right.
everything
right.
else. And they're like, kickoff's at 8:30, and then at 9, it was completely perfect and had no issue. It was like really weird. That's not normal for
yeah. I got
Central
there
Ohio.
I got there just when we let in the goal, but still, it was a pretty good night.
So in that game, we got our second game with a red card in 3, right? There was no red card in Nashville, but there was in Charlotte before that. And then we had we equalized with 10 men, right? Is that right? Or am I misremembering that? Morris
we equalized
with
earlier.
10
We
men.
equalized in the 43rd.
Yeah.
Rossi.
Yeah. I'm
Rossi
thinking of the
finally
DC
opening up
game.
the book.
Yeah. All right. Well, so
If I don't couldn't dive into much in that game, I would
just
say
that Cucho was also, he was still out on the nebulous kind of team policy suspension. But we saw him come back against DC.
for a bit.
yeah,
Good to get a point, right? Good to have only one goal, only one away goal for Tigres. So
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, and
Means we
and
have to score.
they played. Actually, I would say they played very well. I feel like Tigres maybe had another gear in there that they kind of like very happy after they get that one goal. They seemed to be very happy. But it was a good showing. We possessed, we pushed, we had chances.
We looked
I would
amazing.
say that maybe our best, one of the best players. Actually, the best player in that game up until the red card was Morris.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal. He created the goal. But another person that I thought stepped up in that game was Rossi. I think Rossi had a actually very good game against Tigres, so hopefully he can do that again.
I liked the Hinestroza Yeboah combination on the left. They looked good for a good chunk of the game.
That is
Yeah,
true
he did.
too. Hinestroza is coming, making some steps.
yeah, with all the injuries, he's kind of getting plugged in way more often. Injuries and other absences. Okay, so looking forward to Tuesday's game. Cucho will be back. Morris will be out.
I assume
think-
Zawadzki will still be out.
You think so?
Yeah, they don't really mess with head injuries. And also keep in mind that Tigres have not lost at home for over a year. But
Yep.
all that kind of sets up to just be like, you kind of got nothing to lose. Like, we're not really probably expected to win in Mexico. No MLS team is. So it's like, go down there, play our game. It'll probably be like super open. And if we win, cool. And if we lose, we can finally get back to like one game a week.
Yeah.
So
Got a
it's
lot of
kind of like,
games
I
here.
kind of, I don't know. It'll be fun for neutrals or even us, just like, who cares? Like, we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Okay.
I care.
Well, I'm excited at the prospect of the Club World Cup, and this is the path to getting there. It would be you'd see our team playing that tournament in the U.S. or North America.
And
What is
some
it,
people
next
do care.
summer? Next summer?
Yeah, yeah, and I talked to two people that sit by me at the games this weekend and talked about it and said, if we don't get this opportunity and maybe playing in a tournament like that, it should be a priority now. And they're pretty upset about how it seems to be maybe not the priority.
No, I disagree.
Yeah,
I think Nancy's taking it seriously.
Yeah.
yeah. I guess the question was, couldn't they done the penalties a little bit different with Kucho and stuff? But I'm sure we're going to come back to that a little later here too, though. But that if it was that important game, would he have been sitting on an MLS Cup, for example, or a playoff game in
Well,
MLS?
yeah, you're kind of you're scratching at the existential nature of the culture and the crew, and yeah, I don't know. That's
Because
Good
it's a tough
question.
yeah,
Yep.
I don't
one.
know.
I know where I stand on it, but
Okay, so let's jump over to DC. 1-1. I think we saw Cucho come back. Haas, go through those lineups so we can see how they changed from Tuesday.
Yep, we had Rossi, Cucho, and Hinestroza starting up top. Sands, Morris, Nagby, and Arfston across the middle. Amundsen, Chiberko, and Morera in the back with Schulte in goal. That's 108 consecutive games for Nagby now. I think he's like second in the MLS, or like in MLS's existence now. And Sands getting his first start since April of 23.
Wow. Right. What do you guys think? I was pumped when I saw the lineup. I was like, Sands is back. That's awesome. You know, we have Arston on the right, and that guy tends to be more attacking. And, you know, with Hinestroza playing that well against Tigres, I was like, and Cucho back, I was like, yep. I was like, we're going to get 3 goals. That's not even going to be a problem. But I don't know. Didn't exactly play out that way. I actually didn't think we played that well. I thought actually Sands was pretty bad.
I think, yeah, I would say a couple of things. I think DC executed a very good game plan. They weren't overly aggressive in the pressure, but they were very smart in how the pressure does, and they compacted the midfield. And you did not see a whole lot from Nagby and Morris in this game.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of, we got very predictable actually, and we can get a lot of the ball, not a whole lot forward. We tried some of this over the top from like Amundsen over to like Sands and so on without any success. So I'm digging into a little too much in it, but Sands was struggling. I don't think he's going to come good for a while. It's going to take a long time to come back from like that knee injury. I'm glad he got the minutes. He struggled against Herrera on the right back there, who I thought played a really, really good game.
He did.
And Hinestroza, he's aggressive, he's flashy. He got a little lost in here. He's very one-dimensional as well. I feel like he doesn't really get quite the Nancy ball yet. So he gets a little bit one-dimensional. He hangs out wide all the time, which is not what usually we see from when Yao or Farsi are all the way out there on the wing.
Well, so that's kind of my thesis to this first half, and kind of how because the entire front three struggled like a lot of this game. And what happened was you have Hinestroza creating the width on the right, so he was basically on the right on the touchline, and Arfston was actually pinching in. Arfston's naturally left-footed, so he's on the right pinching in. So we were getting width from Hinestroza, which I called that out last game, that it wasn't working. And when we saw Hinestroza, and we were like, wow, he was creating great with Yeboah, that was because he was on the left side. Yeboah was, creating the width, and we had Hinestroza pinching in. I don't like when our front three, any of them, are responsible for creating width. It just takes them completely out of the play. Like when you had Matan, Rossi, and Cucho, none of them were like way out on the wing. Our wingers are our wingers. But this game, it was Hinostroza way out on the right and Arston pinching in. But Arston was also tasked with dropping back anytime we lost the ball. And we lost the ball kind of a lot because our entire center mids were kind of non-existent. We weren't being able to like fluidly play through the middle. So that was the breakdown that I saw was, we have our front three, one guy's way out to the right, and that just gave nobody, there was no creation in the upper middle. Like a lot of the game was played just kind of like at our back.
Yeah.
I thought we got kind of whooped.
Yeah, and they played a very basic style. We knew what they were going to do every time. We can't stop it. They did it last year too. One long ball, head it off. He will win. Benteke, I'm talking about, is going to win every head ball.
Yeah.
He will. The question is, you need to put some pressure on it so we can win the second ball. But he will win every ball, and they used him over and over and over and over again. The same thing. They didn't hide it.
Yeah.
Hard to get a rhythm going when you have 19 fouls committed against you.
Yeah, that's another thing. And Cucho got angry very early. And I think I said after the 3-minute mark in this game, I said, if Cucho, he will get a yellow or possibly red in this game. He was over, what do you call it? Over fired up or whatever the right term is. But
yeah, but that was the same issue I had when I was talking. Was it Tigres? No, I think it was the game before again when Hinostroza was out on the right, where Russell Rowe was like on an island. So Cucho was by himself. Rossi, I felt like, got lost in the game. And I know Hinostroza felt like he got lost, but he by design, he was like way out on the right. I just prefer our front three to be constantly making runs, creating space for each other in the middle and not being on the touchline. You're taken completely out of the play.
So, yeah, a lot of fouls. We talked about that, and I think we'll talk about that a little bit more later, just more broadly. But
no cards.
No goals in the first half.
But
Rossi
a card
got
on
a yellow
Rossi
card.
for running his mouth. Is that right?
Oh,
Dissent, probably.
Complaining to the ref.
Rossi,
Haas called it chirping.
If you haven't noticed this, he does this every game. He's up chirping. He's chirping like every minute of the game. He had a chance. He goes up to the ref and he's in his ear, like talking and talking and talking. I think I said, I was saying it to the guy next to me. He started annoying the referee at this point.
Yeah. So, and that is absolutely the job of the captain. Like the captain is the one that is supposed to be talking to the ref. It is not anybody else. If you have an issue, it's either the coach talks to the fourth official or the captain addresses the ref. But it's always Rossi. Like he's always, I mean, when he got the yellow, I'm just like, yeah, man, like it is, there are two things can be true. I'm exhausted having bad refs, but I'm also exhausted on how we're reacting to this. And we'll kind of come back to this because I mean, you guys are professionals. Like if it was our Sunday league, I'd be like, yeah, sure, man, that stinks. But it's not. It's like you guys know better.
So after halftime, we saw Hinostroza come out for Russell Rowe, and Sands was subbed out for Yeboah. Is this a minutes thing or performance?
That's a good question.
Minutes.
Sands is definitely. I mean, that was glaring. Can we all agree that was like, all right, that absolutely.
I didn't think he was that bad.
Really? He did not seem up to speed.
No, I don't think he necessarily was bad, but they put him tried to play him over the top.
It was a tough matchup, like you said,
with
against
Herrera, and tried to play into the space, and he clearly wasn't faster than him.
Yeah, even Yao struggled to beat him on a foot race.
Yeah, he had a couple of bad calls maybe there too. He one time it was called a foul on him when there should have been a corner kick, and he pressured the guy. There was a couple like that. But I think there's two things there. I think obviously there's minutes, so that he wanted to give Yao Yeboah some break, but he knows still that he is his number one. So we didn't create much, so he wants to have, a guy that can create opportunities, just like he created that one assist last game.
Yeah. Either way, they need to figure it out though, because that outside wing forward, Hinostroza, Farsi, Yaw, Sands, whatever name you want to throw in there, it's been a problem. That is probably the biggest issue that's going on with this team right now. formation wise and stuff. I mean, you can say Rossi needs to do better and score, and Cucho needs to play more control, but they don't seem to have it set, and they're not comfortable on those outsides. So I'm really curious. I mean, Farsi looks so I don't.
Yeah, man.
I don't think he's
Right?
looked good at all. He's looked
Oh.
stiff. He looks
Yeah,
like
he
he's
came
wearing
in
ankle
later.
braces. I don't know.
Those
Yeah.
are pants.
Now, if you watch him though, he doesn't turn like he's not fluid when he plays. Like he's stiff and it just doesn't look good. Yaw's been really good. No issues
yeah.
Do you
there.
think Farsi has something to do with Ramadan too? I mean, you
No,
don't
I
get the
don't.
same nutrition.
No, I
You don't
don't.
think that has
He
something
came
to do
on
with it?
after.
Yeah,
My point
They're
is, in
fasting
general,
and-
you've been having a tighter than normal game schedule, and you are in a situation where you can get the proper nutrition and recovery.
Have you thought
Right?
that all season?
What?
Kind of like all season. That's a good question because like I kind of felt the
Yes.
same way. I felt like he hasn't been where he was at last season. Same thing with Amundsen. Although Amundson's been
Well, and
Pretty good,
and
but
add
it just-
Arfston in there. I mean, I think it is. I think we're watching Nancy search and like explore different options and different formations and different player combinations, and it just isn't working right now. It's not, and it doesn't have to. Like I get it.
No,
It's
and-
early.
Sure.
It's early in the season.
yeah.
No, and
But-
it's minutes. It's minutes right now.
Correct.
We know this. We know the Champions Cup curse in the terms of almost every team that is participating have a slow start, and we don't really even
Correct.
have a slow start in MLS. Really, we're
Yeah.
right there.
Right.
No.
So that's the thing. We can say like, oh yeah, we have a couple of ties and all that, but we're right there. And there's some bright spots too. Shaberko.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
been one of our
man.
most solid players the last couple of games now. Again, in this game, I thought he was solid. And he up against a big, very
Yeah.
big forward.
Yeah,
right?
but
He's
Okay,
probably
he's-
he's our third string, right? Like if Zawa's healthy, he's probably there and Camacho. So
Well,
he's
and I'm with.
definitely-
I think Hinestroza has been playing really well, but I agree with what Ben was saying in terms of he gets on an island out wide, and especially if
Yeah.
he's
There was
up
a
top
moment-
and out wide.
There was a moment in the 32nd minute where he faked a guy out of his boots and then gets a cross in. Just completely embarrassed him. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
He then rifles a shot with his left foot. It was just right at the keeper.
Yeah, I think
He has potential, man. He
Yeah.
can. I think it's going to be really great.
So let's jump forward
To the goal.
well, yeah, so right before that, DC made a couple subs. Notably, Santos came in.
Pedro.
And Farsi, we brought Farsi in for Arfston, but then a minute later, Santos was at least part of the run up, if not an assist.
I think he crossed the ball into Benteke.
Yeah, assist to Stroud, but yeah,
Hockey assist.
Benteke finally scored. I mean, they were looking dangerous for a while.
Yeah.
But let's talk through that goal.
Aiden can't quite win the ball, and DC get the ball to Santos just outside the box. He plays it wide to I'm going to mess up the pronunciation, and I thought I even wrote it down. Diome.
Pronunciations brought to you by the idiots of Upper 90 Club.
That Joe
He
man.
plays a cross into the box. Benteke heads it, and it drops kind of awkwardly into the back side of the box. Herrera runs onto it, blasts a shot, deflects off of Stroud's ass. Nice pass. Falls right to Benteke near the penalty spot. He shoots it with his first touch. Like, I don't even know how he was ready to shoot. Just to the left of Schulte, near post. Schulte was moving in the wrong direction, and just so lucky that ball went to Benteke.
Yeah, it was very frustrating. Had that angle from my seat straight in. That you saw it too, and it was kind of like, man, that's like very lucky. I mean, they have the chances, so I mean, it was it was kind of coming.
They had one off the post in the third minute too. I was like, okay.
Yeah, they look dangerous. I know we got a lot to talk about just broadly on this, so I want to get through the just what happened in the game. 75th minute, Cucho throws a temper fit after getting pushed and gets ejected. Is this red card behavior for you guys? I think so.
Yeah,
Yep.
At the stadium, I had no idea what happened.
No, yeah, I didn't know
Same.
in real time. I didn't know
No
what
clue.
happened. I thought he said something to the ref, and I'm like,
I thought he said something.
if he said something again and got red carded, like I think you have to bitch him for like a while. And then when I saw the replay, I was like, oh, thank God he just kicked the guy.
I mean, he got two-handed pushed in the back,
Okay, so
and then he kind of donkey kicks at the guy right into his knee.
100% donkey.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
So I think, all right, I want to start by saying 100% a red card. Sure, great. But this could have probably been prevented if the ref would have carded McVay at any point prior to this.
I
Because
don't
what
think so.
happened,
Nope.
Co-
Nope.
Well,
absolutely
I
not.
think
It's Cucho.
Cucho was on a mission.
No,
He
no,
was on
no.
a mission
no,
from
dude.
minute one. He could have had
Yeah.
3 yellow cards already in this game.
If this was
Okay.
Aiden, I agree with you. Cucho, yeah, he was going into every tackle. No way. Absolutely not. This if he had a yellow,
Specifically-
no, didn't matter.
well, specifically McVay
Oh yeah,
should have
I
been
agree with
carded
that.
after.
I
I think
agree.
I sent a text out like 11 minutes in. He had 3 fouls on Cucho that
Yes.
were like, but they weren't even just like, they were like, like fouls that should have been carded, as in he like would have
One,
been
he hit
on
him in the
goal or
head.
something. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy. What happened was he pushed him down and kicked him, and then once he fell down, instead of like walking around him like you normally would, he purposely
Stepped over him.
stepped
Yeah.
over him and almost
Yeah.
stepped at it. Like he baited him to do that, and then he kicked out, and he had. I mean, he got barely touched in the knee, and he went down like his leg was blown
The
off.
assassination.
And I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
and-
this guy completely CONCACAF'd this entire thing. What I'm saying is, like, I think if he's on a yellow, he doesn't just push him down from behind after he gets beat, and he definitely doesn't step over him because he could have stepped on him.
Oh, I think
If
he
he
does.
was carded, I
don't
think
think it
he
matters.
doesn't make that.
I think this is a
I don't know,
scenario
man.
if things can be two things. McVay should have been yellow carded, but I
Yes.
don't think that if he was on a yellow, I don't think that affects his behavior. I think he still does the exact same thing, but
I don't
Cucho
know.
has to do better.
Oh,
this
100%.
is-
Like I
that's
said,
a
it was a
He's
scenario.
red.
the target. They know that he's our guy, right? He's
But
he's
he
the
right.
number
But
one
McVay
guy.
should have
They
been
go
yellow
after him.
carded. He beat
It wouldn't
him
matter.
and was
It
in on
doesn't
goal and
matter.
he pushed him down. Yellow carded him.
Cucho should know that he's a target for all those things. Nancy should actually talk to him too and said like in halftime.
sure
I
he
don't know
has.
what's the said in halftime. It's like because I could see it from the stand that he was boiling hot from the
For
start.
sure. From the start.
I was surprised he almost lasted the first half because I thought he was going to get into some kind of trouble. Because
Yeah.
the way he was going in was reckless and sometimes.
But he was also getting fouled. How many times did he get
I know-
fouled?
I know he
prior
gets
to
fouled,
this?
but
yeah, but he was going
yes,
into every
reckless stuff.
tackle too hard. I mean, and
Yeah.
I don't mean it in the sense of like a competitive nature. Like he went into every tackle with a chip on his shoulder. That
I
was
didn't
just
I didn't see that.
And
but I
DC
don't-
was
mean
executed
it's not
very
wrong.
nicely. They did that on purpose, and it was like there was some tactical finesse to it. It was almost like a little bit Italian, right? You keep it a little bit like
What's
a
that
little
mean?
bit dirty, and no, you keep it a little dirty, and you use the little tricks, and you're smart about it, and you're kind of
Yeah.
like nasty to play against. And I felt like that team was doing that really, really well.
Gattuso energy.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
get to the Aiden goal
Healing.
and then let's
Yep.
talk about the fouls.
Yeah. Proceed.
Yeah.
87th minute, the Crew are moving the ball around and possessing. Nagby plays a diagonal ball out wide to Farsi. He crosses the ball in, and it's headed out of the box by a DC defender. I'm not sure who, probably McVay. The ball drops to Morris. He takes 2 touches, blasts a low driven shot with his right foot through traffic to the left of the DC keeper. No one from DC was stepping up to him as he gathered that ball, and he just took advantage of that space.
Yeah, I mean, his shot in the first
Yeah.
half, I wouldn't have stepped to him either. He blasted it like 500
Yeah.
feet over the
Oh,
goal.
yeah. Yeah.
I was just like, all right,
It
cool.
wasn't that bad.
The incredible
He
thing
was
about
leaning back, man.
Yeah.
Adirondack chair. Just
Adirondack.
the thing about this was we were down a guy from what was it, the 75th minute? or
Yeah.
whatever. And we just owned the ball from there on out. We looked better and sharper almost at 10 than we did with 11.
we've been
But
playing
the problem
with 10.
was there was
It
like
was comfy. It was like
Yeah,
we're
no.
sitting in Adirondack.
yeah, we're used to it. But he kept just passing back and forth and back and forth and
Like
back
across
and
the
forth,
field.
across the field,
Which
from
we
the
weren't
left to the
doing
right,
that
from the left to the
prior.
right. It was very
100%.
frustrating. Like that's what I'm talking about. We didn't create much.
Yeah.
And I said to the guy next to me, one of these guys just have to line a shot up and just get at least a shot to do something different. Like 1 minute later, Aiden just lines it up and just hits the back of the net.
It
Oh,
was
great.
awesome. And people were saying it was a lot like Will Trapp's goal.
No,
which
Will
was-
Traps was better than that.
Will Traps
but
was
yeah.
way better.
Yeah, but it was
that
still
shot
good.
was
It was
bananas.
still a very, very good shot. And
Man, Morris was on one too. I mean, he grew into that game, that shot, and then he didn't even like high five anybody, which he just like literally walked over, just like threw up his arms and then walked back.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really gave him a high five. I'm gonna give him a high five when I see him. The highest high five.
There was a good moment. I think it was through Farsi down the right side where Rossi makes a really good run down the middle.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Farsi plays it into him, and he gets a touch to it and shoots it, but it's right at the keeper.
Yeah. That was a
needs
really
to
good
do
play.
better on that one.
Well, good to save the point with 10. I
Yeah.
wish we weren't so used to playing with 10. But
we
I
got
think we've
lucky
had
getting that
three reds in the last 4 games.
That's
a
Nazi
conversation
ball.
for
Said
yeah,
no one.
exactly. It's like we need to talk about this later, but let's take a break here. And we'll kind of dig a little deeper into some of these topics. We'll be right back.
Trap.
Sorry, I'm here for business. Discord Echo, it's Discord Echo, it's Discord Echo, it's Discord Echo.
Discord.gg/crew96.
That's discord.gg/crew96. Join today.
Okay, we're back. Hey, and we saw this week Pete from New to Crew
Oh yeah.
and his wife had their baby
Mhm.
sporting a
Wristband.
Upper 90 Club
What?
Impossible is an Opinion wristband at 0 days of age. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. Your
Uh,
life is over.
don't plan on coming to any more games.
No, don't take Trey as an example. He's still
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Mort.
So, yeah, I was thinking about that rain delay you guys were talking about. It's like, yeah, if you don't have the logistics of like kids and family, you can just kind of hang out. No big
Yeah.
deal. So I'm glad
Or
to
you
hear
can
it was
just
well
abandon your
attended.
family like Mort.
Yeah.
We'll dig
so,
into that one.
A few things we didn't talk about. I mean, so we saw Russell Rowe come in at the half. I actually, I won't get into it. I was just like, I was surprised by those halftime subs. But what do you guys think of the substitutes?
I know why you're bringing this up. And
we're gonna move
Ben
on.
was during the game, he was texting, "This is my kind of lineup because we brought on Russell Rowe."
Yep.
I think I said that at the beginning of the game too.
No, well, you say it all the time. But
Okay.
always my
He
title.
immediately had a good shot. Right off the
immediately
bat,
had
he
a
had
good
a good
shot.
shot.
He did. Yeah.
And then
But
nothing.
after that, all downhill.
Nothing.
I don't know what it is, what is lacking energy or what it is. He does not look sharp at all. And I will take it back one game. The big example I have is from the Tigres game. At the very end, where Rossi runs his butt off all down the left side, beats a guy, goes down to the byline, and hits a perfect ball into the middle in front of goal. And here comes Russell Rowe jogging just late for the game. And this has been he's been like one pace, slow pace player now. And he has a bad touch, make bad decisions. He needs a reset because he has not been good. I don't hate on Russell Rowe because I want him to succeed, but he's not been looking good, and I really started to miss Ramirez.
Didn't he score from outside of the box
But
like
he's
2 games
yeah,
ago?
He did. He scored,
He's not a Ramirez replacement. He doesn't play like that. Watch every time he comes in and he's crashing the box. He will never crash through the 6. He will stop because he wants it cut back. Watch from here on out. That is his game style.
Just somebody else's fault?
No, what I'm saying is like the way he plays, people they don't know how to play with him. They don't.
Maybe that's it. I don't know, but it's not working right now.
No, I agree.
That's how.
Yeah.
We'll just call him Crashmore.
I miss Matan. I hope Matan is back soon.
You should put that on him then. I mean, if he's continually not doing the right thing, he needs to start doing the right thing.
Well, it depends. Like it.
No, it doesn't depend. If he's not crashing the box, like crash the box. Like
crash
is that what he's being asked to do? Like I don't know what he's being asked to do. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like watching, like all last season, he was never that like poacher in the box.
But I wonder,
it might always a cutback. Like
it might be a little bit of the problem. We already talked about that. It doesn't really work with like the top three isn't working the way
100%
that we like them to work together with the rotation and that maybe that's a part of it, right? But I feel like he sticks out more than anything. Maybe it's because of his style of play, where it's kind of like, why is he on there? Because he doesn't for his size and speed, his athleticism. I expect more and maybe finding to be in more dangerous spots than he has been.
I think he plays better if there's a playmaker behind him, like a proper 10, not a Rossi, because he doesn't do that.
But I will say,
but Rossi, we don't have one on the red
Rossi
card.
has.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I was questioning Rossi's commitment, and he was working it in that Tigres game. He's been running.
Yeah,
you can see
DC
him out
was
there.
not as good, but the Tigres game, I was pretty impressed with him actually.
Yeah,
I thought he really stepped up on that game.
All right. Well, so the internet is a big place. So I think we should start reading it. The first thing we want to talk about was, and we mentioned this earlier, just the foul disparity in the last 4 games. I mentioned that we had 3 red cards. And so I'm sure that based on 3 red cards in the last 4 games, we're going to talk about how much our team is fouling the opponent, right?
They're so dirty.
Yeah. We are the most evil team. No. GCG Bag retweeted somebody with this graphic.
CBJ Kelly.
Yeah. So R. Kelly tweeted out this crazy stat. No, so basically they just took the last 4 games and they just did simple addition. How many fouls did the other team commit and how many did we commit? And then they compared that to the yellows and the reds. So the fouls are, the opponents had 78 fouls in the last 4 games, which is insane.
Say that's a big number.
It's so big, like unbelievably big. And that's even with the rest not calling fouls. And we had 38. Yellows.
Half.
Yeah. What is it? Yellows we had, crew have 6 and the opponents have 11, or is it vice versa?
Yeah, well, that seems like it matching up to me.
Yes, half.
Yeah. The reds are 0, and then we have 3 reds. But, this speaks to something else. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and roll on to reading the internet.
I will say, you can say statistically, you say, like, you're looking at the yellow and the fouls and say maybe the ratios, right? The problem is that when you hit a certain number of fouls, the yellows should start coming faster. It's not like it's not a straight graph. It's like, hey, when you repeatedly foul a guy, you get a yellow after the 4th time, right? And the 6th time or whatever, you repetitive fouls. So that's why I said, I'm looking at the yellows and said, you might say, yeah, well, they get twice as many yellows almost as we did and twice as many fouls. But it should be more yellow because it's actually when you repeat fouls, the deeper into the game it is, it should be more yellows for that.
Yeah, I mean,
McVeigh didn't get a yellow at all. It took until Benteke's 6th foul for him to get a yellow card.
Benteke's protection was ridiculous.
Yeah, glaring.
Yeah,
glaring.
So you're just watching teams that are coming in here with the same game plan against us every game.
Hack.
Yeah, and they're
Hack Morris, Hack.
I don't want to say they're getting away with it as much as their game plan is working.
Well, facts.
So what's our? Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
So case in point. So all
we
right.
could
so
sit.
I'm-
We
bring
could sit on this
bring
podcast
Santos
every
back, and then
week
we like
and
just to go down
complain
more.
about reffing every single week. We got to be better and say like, hey guys, like this is what they're going to do. Either embellish it to get the yellow cards. If you're getting fouled, make sure that we're getting the yellows.
Grab your eye like it's cut. Go
Yep.
ahead.
Or suck it
I'm a
up and
pirate.
deal with it. Because
Well, you-
and don't act out in aggression and get the yellows and reds.
I think we had a question.
We're
From one
falling
of the,
into their trap.
Well, yeah. So what I took was on Reddit, Ron_T had what I thought was a great quote from this. He said, "We really need a solution for when teams decide that they are going to foul and body us. In a perfect world, refs manage the games and realize that they are just fouling instead of playing the game. But let's be honest, this is pro, so it's not going to happen, and we shouldn't be surprised it doesn't. We need a plan for it, and we don't have one." So it's pretty much what you're just saying is like, okay, cool. We can keep complaining because we're little babies. Or it's like, hey, if this is a trend over the last 4 games, know it's going to happen, and let's have a game plan for it. And we don't. And that, I think, is the biggest, which is exactly what Trey just said.
take.
Well, yeah, and it's
Which is exactly
I
what
mentioned the
Cucho's
temper fit, Cucho's temper fit earlier, and you said it, Ben. If you don't
Rossi
kick,
can't.
maybe McVay gets a yellow on that play, right? But like it's
100%.
kind of overshadowed by the I'm mad. You're right. Like, and so I don't know.
I think one thing that I have noticed is that I wonder if Nagbe is one of those. I think he's a little more of a quiet leader,
Yeah.
and I think he has some pull. I never really seen him going up to the ref and be like, and I know he's very polite and nice and all that, and I'm sure he has, but I never noticed him like kind of throwing a fit, going up to the ref and say, "Hey, ref, this is going on and on. You have to." I don't know if he does that. I know, like we see if Rossi does it and he got a yellow card, right? But I think Nagbe has a different pull.
Yeah, the question
maybe he needs to also address that a little bit more as well.
Sure. What I would assume that an assistant coach or somebody is keeping tally of this stuff, especially considering, I mean, we're not geniuses. They have to know this is a game plan. I mean, their game plan before to counteract Nazi system was high pressing, and then we were beating that. And this has seemed to work over the last 4+ games. Is just keep fouling them, and break up their
disrupt.
just disrupt their flow. They're a very flowy team. Let's just disrupt, and we're not getting carded. Are they just not keeping all he has to do is go up to the 4th official and be like, hey, so this is the 4th time he's been fouled, and it's 12 minutes in, and they're all on Cucho. Like, you can't really play a soccer if they're going to keep fouling. Like,
I think I saw him at least
telling?
twice go up to the 4th official and say something. So I mean, I think he's doing that. I think that the number one thing is that we're not scoring goals, and we're not creating dangerous opportunities that's forcing DC's game plan to change. And I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, but they're able to keep playing their game plan.
They don't have to open up because they're not
and
down.
the other thing, I think there's a point there. I like that point, Trey, because I think a lot of the fouls is done in the, us knocking the ball around. It's not penetration, it's not like a through ball where we get fouled. It's like we're knocking around, they come in a little late and we get a foul. It's not like we have our back to the goal when a lot of these fouls are happening. And I think that's maybe where you don't get the yellow cards as often.
Yeah.
But to the point of Ron T as well is I see Nancy is getting a little bit fired up on the line, touch line there too. He's been, I've kept an eye on him. He's getting agitated. He's getting annoyed with it. So now we've becoming a thing where we're focusing all these fouls. We're like, oh, we're getting fouled. The ref is against us. We're getting this mentality of like we're the victim or whatever else. No,
it's
just stay cool.
That's the wrong approach.
Keep playing and be like, if it's foul, the ref will take care of it. It will come. It will come good at some point.
Well, and Ben said it. I think it was Ben said it earlier. Like, oh yeah, a classic Nancy ball. Maybe it was you, Mort. But like this is what I want to talk about. Is like he's got to get control of these guys. I mean, we win the MLS Cup last year because of the culture and because of the unified mindset. And these guys are are the opponents are changing, and we're seeing that. We're seeing a more aggressive opponent. They have got to be able to rise above it, or we're just going to be another team, and we're not going to be exceptional, and we're not going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a perfect storm right now. We're going through the one red card is just ridiculous. If we go down to Charlotte and Jones red card, who by the way came
Joke.
back on and stepped in and did a good job when he came in today. It was good to see
Emphasis
how
on
good he has
stepped
been
in.
because he stepped
Tracy
in.
Chapman.
Yeah.
Tony Braxton.
And so I think there's a little bit to that, little bad luck, a little fired up Cucho and all that. We'll get through it. It'll be fine. I think we're going to be fine. I also think there's like this game here at home against DC that had a plan. They had a week to plan ahead on this, and we're going through the motion a little bit. We have a lot of game. I felt like this game was kind of like, here's another game. We just have to get through this game before the next game kind of situation, and not like, hey, this is the game we really have to go out and really perform.
Was DC not in the CONCACAF Champions Cup?
Definitely
I don't believe
not.
so.
No. They didn't make the playoffs. Let's see. Okay.
So I'm going to leave it at this. We're still 343 days since our last loss at home.
Yep.
April 29th of last year. So
Was that 2 DC?
Miami, 2-1.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Campana.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a pre Messi on the bench.
We gotta kind of take it into perspective in terms of this team is not playing horribly bad. Champagne problems, minor adjustments here
That's
and there,
the
play
thing.
better kind of thing.
2 points away from Supporter Shield. We're fine.
Yes, and we're still playing well, but yeah, I mean, they got to make some changes, some attitude changes, some lineup changes, and just kind of figure the wrinkles out. So
Yeah, but if
Well, more like you said with Nancy getting fired up, he got a yellow in the Tigres game,
Well,
Yep.
yeah, that ref was garbage.
and he also like did some weird thing where him and
garbage.
almost a DC player almost collided, where he was trying to get to a ball.
the ball was going out of bounds
Oh,
and
yeah.
in the air, he's running towards the line, and the like two players are coming in there, and he's kind of in there, the path. And
I'm
the
surprised
DC
he
coach,
didn't get in more trouble for
the
Yeah, he
DC
probably
coach was
should've.
losing his mind over that one. I tell you that.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, oh, you're upset because we didn't get a card? Really? Oh, yeah, I know how you feel, idiot.
Yeah.
And so let's go to Twitter real fast. Thank you, everybody who commented. This week's winner is Freelance Driver at WideBoy65. All right, love that. He says, missing Matan more than we think we would. Also need Ramirez owning the box in tight games. So it kind of speaks to Trey. We are missing Matan, and they had the shirt where it was like Rossi, Ramirez, and Cucho, and it's all fun and games. But like since Matan's been missing, we have been struggling. And I kind of wonder if he isn't kind of a. I mean, like I said earlier, like we kind of need a number 10 or some type of playmaker that isn't just Cucho, and that's like a Matan type player. And Rossi's not doing what Matan was doing. I feel like we are missing him, and especially we're missing Ramirez coming in off the bench at like 60 and changing the game.
For sure. Yeah.
I think that's kind of a good take because, if we're not scoring and they're just going to keep fouling, that's the game plan works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Matan
is
he can draw a foul,
close to coming
or a
back,
penalty.
Yeah.
right? And Ramirez
Thigh
going to be
injury?
longer, but yeah.
FOTMob says late April for Matan, but I don't think it's that accurate.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. Like I said, the sky isn't falling. It just kind of feels like it is because of
Yeah,
The
and
eclipse
people.
and the
Oh,
eclipse.
you were saying
Calm,
something.
calm
Yeah,
down.
the end of the world's
you would think
tomorrow,
if you read too much of the internet, as we call it, right now, you think that we were like
Everybody calls it the internet.
haven't won a game this year, or like we're horrible or whatever. It's just like, and we have to remember here. I now we might be a little bit behind, but up and before this game, our average point per game will take us up to second place last year. We would have ended up better with the start this year than we had last year.
Yeah.
So we're doing fine. And remember, we didn't start all that hot last year.
No, we were terrible.
No,
And remember, we didn't make the playoffs the year before. I was glad to see that Porter was able to make good on his promise this time to definitely win the game against Charlotte. You see him and the Charlotte coach were chirping back and forth because Caleb was clasping to his job like for dear life.
He was like, "No, that's not what I said. You misunderstood me." And I was like, "It was literally like, I guarantee we'll win next game." He's like, "But you misunderstood me. I didn't say that." It's like, dude, I just want to know if anybody threw a cardboard box off a ladder.
Why did the player of the game get a bag of popcorn?
They're just, I don't know.
What? That's a thing.
Somebody's got to spill the tea. Spill the tea on New England. All right, let's
the MTV Movie Awards.
jump to
Like, what is this, Jock Champs?
That's funny.
Jump to the next one, Ben.
Yeah, the last one we're going to do is from T.S. Solomon Books. Well, our defense is very solid in comparison to many parts of last season, and we have a lot more depth in the back. He's absolutely right. However, our attack has lost much of its flow and chemistry. We seem offensively constipated. Great at the moment. Still early days, though. I do want to say,
great word.
Our defense actually has been phenomenal. Like that's one thing. Like this time last season, it was just like, who wants to play defense? Raise your hand. You know what I mean?
Why we're. That's what I've been saying.
Year,
we are a
1-0
team. You know?
Yeah.
Quentin was starting every game a year ago. Remember that.
Every game for 5 games.
I cannot forget.
So,
but I mean,
but I really like the term he used, constipated, and not that I like the word, but it's a good description of how it feels. Right?
Yeah.
How you feel?
No, but let's just hope one of these days it will just all
start pooping.
Get out.
Yeah.
Just
man.
flows.
What is it? Magnesium citrate. Is that right?
So
no.
Yeah, but
okay.
I don't know what that is.
Citrate.
But put it in the starting
Citrate.
lineup. Citrate. Yeah.
The offense needs more fiber. And yeah. It is true though. I mean, what the defense is holding the line, and we just need to figure out what's going on up top and get some of these injuries worked out. Yeah. Although that's what was going on in the defense last year more, right? Like it wasn't as if we were maybe understaffed, but like we had enough players, and then a few of those got injured, and then we were like just counting the days till Josh Williams could come back on July 15th or whatever it was.
And we're still counting.
Yeah.
Bring him back. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's break here. When we come back, we're going to do the bird update for Crew 2, and then we'll jump into the predict picks. We'll be right back.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
Hey guys, Carlos here. Thanks for having me again. Coming with good news, the Crew 2 faced Toronto 2 this Sunday, and we won 2-1 at home at historical Crew Station. That was a cheated game. There was a lot of fouls early, kind of what we see with the first team as well. We were getting fouled a lot. That's how teams, I guess, try to deal with our playing style, which is similar from the first team and the Cappies. They did score first, but that was their only goal. Lapkes, actually, our goalie, Stas Lapkes, saved a couple of huge opportunities by Toronto early on that could have doubled or even tripled their score. He's huge. He's very, very good at the foot saves and just quick reflexes. Just keeps developing into a great goalkeeper. And then we did tie in the first half of a corner, taken short. Chris Rogers, who continues to impress and was playing left center back, which is his usual position, made a great run into the box and an even better cross that was finished by Mo Saad, another academy product. And Mo actually has 2 games that he scored back-to-back now, so it's good to see him doing it that way, using his frame to win over and score those goals. And then our go-ahead goal was scored by Rincon. It was his first goal, his first professional goal. He's another academy product, and he played really well. I think he really shone as the engine in that midfield, playing kind of that, creative role. Adrian Gonzalez, our new number 10, was chosen as the team's MVP, and he played a different role this week, which was interesting to see, where he was the guy making the connection between the defense and the attack. He was the, Aiden Morris coming to relieve the center backs from pressure and help them get the ball forward. But in my opinion, Lapkes was the MVP. Without him, Toronto would have scored a couple goals that they should have scored, but Lapkes was huge. Another person that I wanted to bring into attention is Christopher Pearson. I talked about him last week too. But I think that if it's kind of too early to tell, but if there's anyone in the current Cappies that is, notwithstanding the guys already with first team contracts, who is ready to fill in a position if we need it for the first team, I think that Christopher Pearson is that guy. He has been really good on defense. He made a couple mistakes this game in passing, but that's just the crew, passing from the back. You make mistakes. But he is a fantastic free kick taker. Dude has a leg on him and almost scored a couple times off of free kicks, which was great to see. All right. 2-1 victory. I think we're starting to gel. It's sprouting much like the plants in the spring, right? It's time to start your peppers and your tomatoes if you haven't yet. Happy about the crew, happy about the plants, and happy mostly about the crew too. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, we're back. Thanks, Bird.
Thanks, Bird. That's a good win. I saw the second half. Did anybody else watch the game? It was on YouTube because the Georgia Cup was on Apple, which I thought was kind of interesting. But it seems like
I was getting the Fat Mob updates.
I'm guessing that was Generation Adidas. Is that the
Georgia Adidas?
Yes, Generation Adidas.
Yeah, considering how many teams just walked off the field because of racism? Did you catch that? There was 3.
Multiple.
Yeah, it was insane.
At least 3.
Wow.
But hey, man, Georgia. You know what I mean?
No. Jesus.
No?
Georgia.
Just find me 11,000 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's we are going to review the predict picks, but before we do, I would like to talk through where we stand in the tables. So let's do that now.
Tables. Just tables. 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 I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
Eastern Conference, New York Red Bull are in first place with 14 points. Philadelphia, Miami, Columbus, and Cincinnati are all stuck at 12 points. Atlanta,
Red Bull is
DC,
on top.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the team that got schooled.
Who beat Cincinnati at home.
Thank you, Red Bull.
Thank you.
Atlanta, Toronto, DC, all at 10, 6, 7, and 8. Charlotte in 9th with 8 points. Chicago in 10th with 8 points. Montreal, Nashville with 7 points. NYCFC and Orlando with 5, and New England with 4.
New England, I promise I will win. 4 of those points came this week against Charlotte.
They get 4 points now.
Oh, did I say 4? 3 of those 4 points
Take this
came from one goal that they scored against Charlotte.
Oh,
Caleb. I mean, Caleb, he's just
Caleb, man.
He's so, last boyfriend.
Yeah. What do you say? Totally said that.
Yeah. Did he say he bet his house?
Yeah.
I bet my house we're gonna. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he gave a bunch of popcorn to Carlos heel after the game. You get popcorn of the match.
Oh man.
Movie night on the heart bed. Yep.
Okay. So let's and we're playing RSL, which was not mentioned. Do you want to talk about where they are on the West?
RSL is currently in third place in the West, 11 points, 3 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties.
Okay. All right.
And they are 2-1 at home.
All right. Let's jump over to the results.
Or they're away. So they're 1-1-2 away.
You
Wait,
done?
I didn't follow
Wait,
what?
RSL?
What does RSL stand for even?
Is it a home game or an away game?
What
I don't
is
know.
We're
Yes,
playing at
games.
America's first field.
Yeah, we're going to go up some
first
altitude.
Rio Tinto? Is that it?
Rio Tinto. Yes, sir. That's what it used to be.
What a
Oh yeah,
name.
Haas, you have the
Salt
Utah
Lake
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to an away game there.
Did they dig up a gold Bible there? Is that what happened? At America?
They trap you in a little box if you're drinking alcohol, and you're not allowed to leave that room with any of your alcohol at the stadium.
How do you know?
Video camera?
Does the
Heart-shaped bed?
how are the magic underpants involved in the traditions? Do they throw the magic underpants in a cardboard box?
You're allowed to eat pork?
All right. Let's
So many
let's
questions.
get into the predict picks.
Yeah, so in terms of points, last round, obviously Columbus and DC tied 1-1. And Haas was the
Hey,
fair
basement
weather,
boy.
Yep, fair weather fan this week, and got a perfect score of 3 points. I will note that
Oh, he's
Trey
wearing
had
his
us
Morris jersey here.
win. There we go. And
Hold
and
on.
Trey,
Is that the right number? Did you get the right number?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Just making sure.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And Trey had a 1-0 victory for Cruz, so he gets 1 point
Ah,
for
boy.
the correct number of goals scored for the crew, and the rest of us got nothing.
I had a one.
What?
Hold on, but in fairness, it should have been 2-1, right? Like
I'm not going to
Let me
get
ask
into
Dong
it.
Arbor
We could
about
argue
that.
it.
So that means that
Courtney
the
Sullivan. I saw Courtney was with me at 2-1.
that means that currently Mars is in second place with 6 points. Ben is in third place with 5 points. Trey is in fourth place with 4 points. I'm in the basement with 3 points, and Haas
Last.
is first.
Mention last.
Mention
with
last.
7 points.
Man,
Wow.
Get a tattoo.
Wow.
He jumped. He jumped to the attic. Congratulations,
Wow, man.
Haas. But
You
still
should have
mentioned
worn the
last.
shirt.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Awesome. All right, let's talk about D's
I
next
don't know.
game.
I thought I
You got to
was.
think about that.
I'm already sweating.
Man, I don't even know. Like,
Buckle up, Buttercup.
My tongue is sweating.
I'm not good at doing things.
You're dumb.
Okay. All right, so let's go through this real quick. Ben, you said we're gonna lose 2-1.
Yeah. We don't got Cucho. We're on a rotating. I think we're going to prioritize Tigres. And I think it's, I don't know. I think Aranga is also absolutely on fire right now. And RSL's not, I mean, are they at altitude? I feel like they're at altitude. So it's like a
Yes.
tough place
They're in the
to-
valley. They're in the valley, but
still in
it's
altitude.
More altitude than here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like we're gonna travel down on Tuesday all the way to Monterey and then probably back home for a day or two. You know how I am about travel.
You think so? Do you think they don't just go straight to
Yeah.
Salt
We'll
Lake?
probably go to
They are not
Vancouver.
coming home.
Probably go to
It would be
Vancouver.
a cheaper, or I'm sorry, a shorter trip just to go straight to Salt Lake.
Yeah, they're not going to Cancun.
No. We're
If
gonna
they
do
fly
the
home,
like.
they get the frequent flyer miles.
We're gonna do the Tom Hanks terminal deal for a few days,
Yeah,
and they're gonna head south back down to
yeah, I don't know.
Salt Lake.
Yeah, real Salt Lake, none of that fake Salt Lake.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Not much of a Salt Lake left.
Wow.
All
Because
right.
of the eclipse?
Yes.
Is that how evaporation works?
Screwed up the tides.
Yeah. Mort, you said the same.
Yeah, Arango is really on fire. They also, I think we might have a little bit of a hangover from our big win against Tigres on Tuesday. Since it doesn't go into prediction now, I'm just going to predict 6-0 win in Mexico.
Okay.
And they're just partying, staying in Mexico, so they come a little hungover to them. Yeah,
breaking their garage doors.
No,
with
but I
margaritas.
think it's going to be tough. We are a little bit. We're running a little thin. I think with the number of games, everybody's going to prepare against us. Every game, the team that plays us is going to be a pretty big game right now because we are the champions.
We are seeing that.
We're going to get their best, and we are not going to be quite up for it. So I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Arango has 6 goals this season.
I mean,
And
he's always
also
playing
our
the
away
crew. Like,
record
why
in the
not
West
just
has
let
not
us?
been good.
Why not just let us win? Why give us your best? Why not save your best for like a bad team? Then you're sure to win.
Yeah, good call. Wasn't Arango with Rossi in L.A.? Am I crazy? Was that time?
I think
He
Arango was
with
in LA
him
last year.
Arango was with him when wasn't he with him when Rossi?
Or was it Bwanga?
Yes.
Because I said Bwanga a couple.
No,
pod ago or something
Arango
like that, but-
was loaned last year to one of the Mexican Liga MX teams, and
He was
then
there
came
for
to
a little bit.
RSL in July, I think.
And he was good last year, and I was
but
like,
they
"Dude, he's
were
gonna be great
together
this
in LAFC, I think.
Correct.
The year that
Yes. Yeah,
Rossi
he was.
was the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
Because we can't,
August
they
of
can't stop
21
talking
to
about
January
that.
of 23.
Yeah.
No collusion.
when he was with
no
LA.
collusion. Trey, you said 1-1.
Seems like a 1-1 game.
Nothing
Pause.
more to see here.
You said 2-2. You think that it's going to be what Trey said, but twice as much.
Because they're going to play 2 games.
So
A little bit of a
doubleheader.
battle. Yeah.
It's a doubleheader.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You think we'll get 2 goals away from home without Cucho?
That's what I typed out.
That's
what I believe.
Clearly
that's also what I typed out. I'm the only one who said we're going to win.
Wow.
Which seems crazy because you're the
2-1 crew. So am I right in saying that if I get the result right, I get a point and no one else does?
You get more 3
Yeah,
points.
Well,
We
if the
get to
score
get
is
the-
right, but like
yeah,
if they won, say 1-0,
No.
Yeah, you will get.
Yeah.
I would get a point, and Trey would get a point.
And Ben, because they predict the crew
Oh, yeah.
number of goals correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mars predict
If
2
it was
goals.
1-0.
Yeah.
All right.
But he
This
predicted
is great. It's going to be great.
2-1.
It all makes
Easy peasy,
sense.
lemon squeezy.
It all makes sense. It's just like how, it's a convenient way of looking at it.
CVW.
Is that going to make the cut? The CVS.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
CVS
oh, yeah.
has got to be the end.
Oh,
okay,
gotta
all
be
right.
in there.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think my big takeaway for this week is it feels difficult. We're fighting hard games. We've got, we've had a bunch of red cards, but
We've had a lot of red cards.
As we've said, we're not doing poorly in the we're a couple points off the supporters shield. We're doing better than we were last year. Yada yada yada. I think all things are good. Did we have any listeners get correct takes last week? I think we forgot to talk about that last week.
No.
Oh, last week, I don't know. This week for sure, no one said 1-1.
And we still don't have anybody having 3, so we're still.
Everyone started out so hot. We're like, oh,
yeah.
man, they're going to
get it right.
get it right after like 4
games.
Oh, jinx.
Nope.
Yeah.
Welcome
Okay.
to the club.
All right.
Hard to get it right.
Well, so we got 2 more games. Then do we have? Is it just 1 game next week? We don't have another midweek game next week, do we?
If we win,
Do we know when the
C3
next leg of right?
That's a good question.
CONCACAF
I don't think it's
Usually
no idea.
usually that will be at least a couple of weeks out for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, so we'll see what happens with Tigres. Again, we'll post on Tuesday and get some predictions so you can win some swag. And then we'll be back next week. Until then.
Semifinal leg. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Semifinal leg 1 for CCC is April 23rd.
That is close too.
And then April 30th for leg 2 and June 2nd for the final.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to just finish up the show too while you're at it?
I was working my way to get to that information.
Don't stare directly at the sun.
Right. Yeah. Unless. Yeah.
Please do.
Some will.
Unless you don't have an answer for your child about what CBS stands for. All right, guys.
See you in a bit.
I'll see you in a week. Go Crew.
Go. I love you.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
Convenience store?
I grabbed the...
Swiss cow.
Hold on. Pause for brilliance. Pause for brilliance.
Convenient store.
Holy shit. Okay. All right.